welcome to my YouTube channel, Traveled and Balanced. My name is Kim. We're going to be doing a 25-minute restorative class today. So we're going to need a bolster or pillow, a blanket, and 2 blocks. Feel free to grab books instead if you do not have any blocks at home. And we're going to get started in child's pose to begin. So keeping the blanket folded here, we're going to bring the blanket, the bolster, to the top of your mat. And then take your knees as wide as your mat here. Sink the hips back. Start to bring your bolster a little bit closer, melting your head onto the bolster. Arms are going to come by the side. A couple of options here. If you want a little bit more height, you can bring a block underneath the flat side or the side of your block. I'm going to do the flat side. And then if you want a little bit more support on the backs of the legs, you can bring that folded blanket in between. And then once you find your spot here that you are comfortable, start to close your eyes. Let yourself fully relax here. Feel all corners of your body on the mat here. All 4 corners of the hands pressing down. All 4 corners of the feet, the tops of the feet press down. Feel the knees pressing down. Feel the heart on the bolster and the side of the head. Soften in the corners of the eyes. Soften in the mouth. Let the teeth part here with the tongue rest on the bottom of the mouth. Shoulders relax away from the ears. Just taking long breaths. Let go of any thoughts that start to pop up here. Take 5 more breaths on this side. And then slowly switch the cheek. Come on to the opposite cheek here. Again, just melting the body back onto the bolster. Feel the body melting a little bit more. Feel the hips pulling back towards the heels. Rest the forearms. Rest the shoulders. Anywhere that you're feeling any tightness, send your breath there. Let yourself feel heavy. Let yourself just let go just a little bit more. Taking 2 more breaths. Slowly walk your hands back up. Move the props off to the side. We're going to be into a tabletop position. Bring the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Rock the hips side to side. Send your right leg back behind you. Good. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. Set up for your pigeon pose. Right shin comes across your mat. Right knee towards the right wrist. Left knee is going to stay on the ground, but start to walk your foot back. Walk the leg back so you start to lengthen out a little bit more. Couple of options here. We're going to take the block underneath the right hip for a little bit more support. The blanket can come underneath the left knee. And then bringing that bolster or the pillow right across the right leg. So if your knee is at an angle, your whole leg is, then bring your bolster right in line with that. And come to lay down. Rest the head down. Rest your forearms down. Good. I'm going to stay here for about 3 minutes on each side. Good. If your head is just hanging heavy, lengthen through the neck. If you're laying right onto the bolster, let yourself fully relax on there. If you feel any pain coming to the right knee, just bring all the weight back into the right hip. Tops of the left foot pressing down. And just staying here with your breath. If this is not comfortable at any point, you can come into a figure 4 on your back. And that stretch is the same. Make any adjustments so that you're comfortable. Good. Take a couple more breaths. Start to walk your hands back up. We're going to come out of the pose. We can set up for the other side. Place all props off to the side for now. Come back to your tabletop position. Shake up the legs, pat out. Shake up the hips, pat out the legs. And then over to the other side. So left leg lifts behind, left heel lifts. Good. Bring the left knee in toward your chest. Bring your left knee across your mat, left shin across the mat. Walk your right foot back. Set up your props. Block underneath your left hip. The blanket underneath your right knee. Placing that bolster or the pillow right in front of that left leg. Come to melt towards that bolster. can also rest your forearms on the bolster. Make any adjustments so that you're comfortable, and same throughout the pose when you're resting here. If you need to make adjustments, please do. And then when you're ready, start to let yourself fully relax, melt in towards the props. Again, staying here for about 3 minutes. The figure 4 stretch is available to you on your back if this is not comfortable on this side. Soften in the face, soften in the shoulders. If you feel any pain in that left knee, bring the weight back into the left hip. Feel your right hip drawing towards the front of your mat. Keep the hips squared. Soften in the shoulders. Take just a couple more breaths here. Good. Bring the awareness back into the body. Start to come out of your pose. Meet back in tabletop position. Take your time. Props come off to the side. And once you're in your tabletop position, just pat up the legs, shake the hips side to side. Now we're going to set up for fish pose. We're going to take the bolster to the top of your mat and place a flat block right at the top of the bolster. So you're going to come out, so it's going to come at an angle here. And then if you have any lower back issues, the blanket at the bottom of the bolster will feel really good. Take mine across. Okay. And then when you come onto your back, you're going to come about 4 inches away from the bottom of the bolster. Good. And then a couple of options here. Your feet, you can bring the feet on the floor with the knees bent. You can take the feet together with the knees wide. Coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. Or you can take the legs nice and long. Take a moment to see which one feels more comfortable. And then the arms can either rest by the sides. If you want a little bit more of a chest opener, you can take your arms a little bit wider until it feels good for you. You can take them as wide as they're in line with your shoulders. Good. Close your eyes. Let yourself start to melt here. Make any modifications that you need to so you can be comfortable in this pose. Again, we'll stay here for about those 3 minutes. thing that you have to worry about is your breath. Let everything else go. Just staying present here on your mat. Anything else that happened earlier, just let that go. Anything else you have to do later, just let that go. And we're about halfway through the pose. If you want to make any adjustments, you can take the bottoms of the feet together with the knees open if they weren't. If the knees are bent, you can take the legs nice and long. You can remove the block out from behind you if it's a little too much of an incline. Feel yourself connecting with the floor. Slowly start to come out of your pose. Start to lift up. Okay, so bringing the block off to the side, bringing the bolster off to the side. We're going to set up for a bridge pose. And this can be with a block on the side, or you can do a bolster. I'm going to do a bolster. So I'm also going to move my blanket off to the side. You can use this as a little pillow at the top. So when you come to lay back onto your side, take your knees bent with the feet on the floor, and then bringing that bolster underneath. So you're gonna lift your hips, slide the bolster or the block underneath your hips. Your hips will be lifted here. And make any adjustments. If you're on the block, if it's too high on the side of the block, you can take it to the flat side. Rest the head here. Let the shoulders relax. Take your hands either on your belly or by the side. And start to melt towards the mat. Feet can be a little bit wider, so you can start to knock the knees towards each other. Still letting yourself rest towards the mat. Make any adjustments at any point that you need to. Staying here in the bridge pose, or you can come into legs lifted. You can bring the knees in towards the chest. If you have a block underneath you, start to lift your hips up. Bring the block to the flat side. Place it underneath the sacrum, so it's right below, or rather above the tailbone. And then start to lift your legs up. Good, we'll rest here for 2 minutes. Feel free to take this against the wall. Good. Start to take your feet down, lift the hips up. Remove your prop off to the side. Set up for your final pose, Shavasana. We're going to take that bolster underneath the legs, right underneath the knees. Feel free to bring 2 blocks instead on its side underneath. And then come to lie down on your back. Let your hands rest by the sides or on the belly. Close your eyes. Let yourself fully relax. I'll guide you back out when it's time. Slowly start to bring awareness back into the body, adding a little bit of movement in the fingers and the toes. And then little circles in the ankles and the wrist. Okay. Slowly make your way onto your right side. Bring all props off to the side for a moment. Use your top hand to press down. Come into a seated position facing the front, closing the eyes. Hands will meet at prayer. Thank you for taking this class and taking this time for yourself. Bring the hands, the thumbs to the third eye. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking class with me today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye.